On the news at 1, President Tinubu receives Salah homage, reaffirms commitment to leading Nigeria to greater prosperity. And messages of peace, love and tolerance resonates as Muslims in Nasarawa observe Eid al-Fitr. Hello and a warm welcome to the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja, compliments of the season. I am Ifoma Ojinta. I am just a custodian of trusts under the mandates of Nigerians and committed to leading Nigeria to greater prosperity. That was President Bola Tinubu speaking as he hosted a delegation of Federal Capital Territory FCT residents who visited him on Salah homage. State House correspondent Musbah Odan Wahab has more on this.
This is another first for President Bola Tinubu hosting FCT residents to a Salah homage. So too for the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, who led the delegation. Supposedly a homage to the president, but the host decided to make it the show of his landlord, the FCT minister.
Master of Infrastructure.
Based on his personal conviction, President Bola Tinubu appointed the former Rivers State governor a member of his cabinet from the opposition. And still less than 2 years in office, President Tinubu expressed satisfaction in the ability of the FCT minister to implement the renewed hope agenda for development in the territory, leading to improvements in socio-economic life.
And everything started changing rapidly. And I started looking at the opening up of the rural areas, of abandoned projects, and the residents of the vice president that has been abandoned for years came alive. The health centers are being rehabilitated. We are living at peace. The security is improving.
Highlighting how the removal of FCT administration from the Treasury single accounts is facilitating the rapid developments being witnessed in the territory, President Tinubu recounted the humorous exchange between him and the minister on the matter.
He came up with a lot of good ideas. I remember the day Nyesom Wike came to me and said, please, take us out of this problem of TSA so that I can do more work and achieve more. And I said, okay, show me what you're about to do. And he presented himself. And I threw in my own political jibe. Say, will that give me any opportunity for my party to win election in FCT? I say, I know where you are coming from, your own party or my party. But if this thing goes too much in your own favor, you will lose your job.
Your Excellency, sir.
The minister delivered the appreciation of FCT residents to President Tinubu on the turnaround of Abuja and assures that more infrastructural projects are in finishing stages for President Tinubu to mark another year in office.
As we approach the second anniversary of your administration, we're excited about the array of impactful projects that we have lined up for commissioning. These projects designed to improve infrastructure, economic opportunities, and overall quality of life stand as evidence to your administration's commitment to national development.
The residents took turns to keep memory of this day with the president. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Eid al-Fitr, a significant celebration in the Islamic calendar, marks the end of Ramadan, a holy month of fasting and spiritual reflection. Now, as Muslims worldwide come together to commemorate the occasion, they not only rejoice at the end of fasting, but also express gratitude to Allah for the strength and guidance they received throughout Ramadan. In this report, Aisha Bashir explores the significance of Eid al-Fitr among Nigerians, shedding light on the traditions, customs, and values associated with this joyous occasion.
Islamically known as Festival of Breaking the Fast, Eid al-Fitr commemorates the end of Ramadan, symbolizing gratitude for the strength to fast, spiritual rejuvenation, and community celebration. Following the month-long Islamic fast of Ramadan, where Muslims abstain from food and drink from dawn to sunset.
Allah is testing us with what we have learned in the month of Ramadan. All, He fused it together in less than 2 hours. He said, when you are coming to the mosque, you must have done your zakat al-fitri, you must have done charity. Have you been giving the charity you learned in the month of Ramadan? You want to practicalize it. Allah even give time. So time you must do it. And when you do it, it's like a test that Allah wants to reconfirm. Have you learned your lesson?
The significance is not just to celebrate that I didn't eat or drink. It's also to celebrate the total control and victory over personal desires that the person will have. It's like you now submit yourself totally to the will of Almighty Allah, and you put your own desires and your will, you put them under check.
Eid al-Fitr is a joyous occasion marked by special congregational prayers, charitable acts, and social gatherings with loved ones.
Eid al-Fitr is a very big occasion. It is very significant because it is the time for kind of sober reflection. People, Muslims, should reflect on all the good deeds they did during the month of Ramadan and even continue to strive to continue to do them even after Ramadan.
Eid al-Fitr is a time for the faithful to express gratitude to Allah for the strength and patience bestowed during Ramadan. It's also an opportunity to reflect on the spiritual lessons learned throughout the holy month.
There are things that they normally do. There is something that we call it zakat al-fitr, right? So they normally share zakat to people before going for Eid. So it's just like a celebration, and it's very important. So normally by the end of Ramadan, they observe that celebrations, and it's very significant.
Ultimately, Eid al-Fitr fosters a sense of global community and unity amongst Muslims as they come together to celebrate and rejoice. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
Many thanks, Aisha. And now with me in the studio to discuss more on the significance of Eid al-Fitr is the Chief Imam Al-Habibia Islamic Society, Imam Fuad Adeyemi. It's nice to have you in our studio this day.
Thank you so much once again.
So happy Eid al-Fitr.
Eid al-Fitr. Thank you so much.
Going by that report, it's such a joyous day and an important celebration in Islam. So tell us, why is it such an important celebration?
Well, Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah. And we are grateful to Him for 30 days. It has been rigorous worship, deprivation, and something that you would have loved to do ordinarily. You couldn't get it. And if you look, this year's weather was so hot that you feel like you want to drink water, even if you are not eating. All these things are within your reach, but you could not do any. You are hungry, you are thirsty, you want to see your colleagues. You couldn't do it, not because you're under punishment, but under sincere worship of your God. Now, you now have an opportunity that you can now go and do all this legally and naturally. The Prophet ﷺ told us that for a fasting Muslim, there are two joys. The joy of fasting the way of breaking the fast, that's after the entire month, and the joy of meeting his Lord. You see, when you are right, you know you have done something right. If your boss, for example, send you to go on an errand, and you have done the work very well beyond even his imagination, you will be eager to meet your boss to say, this is what I have done, this is what I have done. The same thing with a Muslim who has fasted Ihman and Wa'iktisaban, that with the fear of Allah and the way Allah has asked us to do it, you'll be eager to meet your Lord because you are conscious that you have tried your best and you know you have a lot of reward from it. So when the day of Eid now comes, and that is what the word Eid also means, a recurring joy.
Okay.
So it meant a recurring joy of breaking a fast. So everything of Eid is about joy, is about happiness, is about service, is about worship, is about obedience.
Okay. Now, tell us, how does Eid al-Fitr, emphasize unity and reconciliation within families and communities?
Well, you see, fasting is the beginning of Eid al-Fitr. You have been working together, you have been working together, you have been planning together, you have been eating together for the past 30 days. You will wake up in the night, even when you are not talking to yourself, by the time you wake up in the night, you will meet, you want to eat, you want to do something. And when you break also in the evening, the same thing, before you know it, you forgot what to say. Then secondly, Ramadan is a time when everybody is brought together, when all the family members are brought together. And during this time, one of the greatest lessons of Ramadan is your heart must be clean. You must forgive others, while other too forgives you. So when Ramadan comes, already your mind is with your Lord. Whatever anybody has done for you, you want to forgive that person because you are hoping to get the best forgiveness from your God. So if you want that, you must be able to give it. Allah says, "Lan tanalu al-birra hatta tunfiqu mimma tuhibbun." That you cannot get anything good until when you spend from what you love most.
Okay.
So because of that, everybody now comes together. And when it now comes, it is something that a father, let me give you a name, the head of the family will pay Zakatul Fitri on everybody. So it means even the person you are not talking with, you have a challenge with, you must pay something on him. Somebody you are paying something on for other people, compulsorily, you must settle yourself. Then beside, you will also do many things together during Ramadan. So doing this gives you the opportunity of settling disputes, of coming together, of making the family stronger, of strengthening relationship, the bond of relationship between family members during this month of Ramadan, and cumulate it on the Eid al-Fitr day.
Okay. Imam, you talked about Zakat al-Fitr, if
Yes,
right?
yes.
It has to do with charity. And we know that charity, it formed an integral part of the Ramadan period. We saw a lot, you did through the Al-Habibiyya Society. Tell us, how can we use charity or charity, which we saw in Ramadan, to improve the socio-economic well-being of the society?
Islam has a lot of tools to improve the social welfare being of the society. In Saud, well, it's your program, I believe you, it was highly expanded on what charity could also do in Islam. For example, we have the main zakat, which is there. Then zakatul fitri also. It is also to make sure that everybody is happy during on the day of Eid al-Fitr. On Eid al-Fitr, everybody has something to have. It's either you give or you take. Nobody is left behind. So there shouldn't be anybody. So with that, when hunger is out of your problem, then I think the problem is almost gone. Which you also, during the month of fasting, there's been a lot of charitable activities that was going on here and there. It will interest you that in Al-Habibiyya, we have what we call Al-Habibiyya Zakat Foundation. Incidentally, Al-Habibiyya Zakat Foundation is an offshoot of Al-Habibiyya Food Bank during the month of Ramadan. Okay. So it was what we have been seeing. We now discovered that some people are giving us money for Zakat during the month of Ramadan. And the money for Zakat was not to be used for feeding alone. It has to raise people up economically. So we now separated Zakat from the ordinary charity in Ramadan. So when you give us money, we ask, which money did you give us? Is it just ordinary Zakat or Sadaqah? If it is Zakat, when we collect it, we keep it in one place. After fasting, we now call people. will redistribute zakat. So Ramadan and this charity has always been a system of economic growth of all the community.
Okay. Now, Ramadan is over and we are celebrating the Eid al-Fitr. In a post-Ramadan life, what should life be for Muslims, who just graduated from a long-month spiritual training?
Ramadan has taught us a lot of things. One of it is what I want people to write down. I call it continuous consciousness of the beingness of the Supreme Being. I repeat, I say it's continuous consciousness of the beingness of the Supreme Being. So it means everything which you are doing, you must be conscious of God every time that God is there with you. So everything that God has created, you must be good to them. You have been trained to be good to everybody, including yourself. You should continue to be good to them.
Okay, we've been told to round up, but very quickly, Imam, your admonition to brethren as we celebrate Eid al-Fitr as celebration lasts.
We should know everything in Islam is about worship. It's about ibadah. Do not overdo anything. Be conscious that you have been trained by God Himself during this month of Ramadan. Do not do something that will destroy all what you have been able to achieve during the month of Ramadan. Be conscious of God in everything which you do.
Thank you very much indeed, Imam Fuad Adeyemi, Chief Imam, Al-Habibia Islamic Society. It's been a pleasure having you on the news this afternoon. Thank you so much. Now moving on, the message of peace, love, and tolerance resonated as Muslims in Nasarawa West yesterday joined their counterparts across the world to observe Eid al-Fitr after the completion of the Ramadan fasts. Let's see what Blessed Fulani has for us.
Eid al-Fitr, which is a festival to mark the end of the Ramadan fast, provides Muslims the opportunity to pray and appreciate Allah for the privilege to see the end of fasting period and as well seek His protection over challenges confronting the nation. Muslims in Nasarawa West Senatorial District are not left out in the celebration as they troop to various Eid grounds to perform the 2 rakat prayers led by imams who admonish them to consolidate on the lessons learned during the holy month of Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. Royal fathers as well as stakeholders sue for peace, love and tolerance in their various goodwill messages.
So I want to use this opportunity to call to all meaningful Nigerians to join hands together, build a better Nigeria, build a better hope, and ensure the hope exists within us, and respect the rule of law.
My message, as always, is about unity. It's about people understanding that we are our brother's keepers. We must stay and live together. We must embrace each other's culture and respect each other's culture.
The Eid al-Fitr celebration was observed in Nasarawa West under a peaceful atmosphere. Blessing Fulani, NTA News.
And Eid Mubarak celebrations took center stage in Abuja as residents of the Federal Capital Territory joined Muslims worldwide in marking the end of Ramadan. Kama reports on various activities at Salah.
The 2025 Ramadan and Lenten period celebration boosted religious leaders, paid stakeholders, paid encouraged.
And every citizen of Nigeria, and even those that are ruling us, we pray that Almighty Allah will be there.
Giving blessings, Mosque Kudu, an imam of Saitek Mosque.
We sincerely apologize for the loss of audio in that report. Now, the high moral training attained of piety, virtues, and obedience to Allah's injunctions are lessons that Islamic scholars under the auspices of Council of Eastern Muslim Community of Nigeria say should be imbibed in everyday life of Muslims. This was stated during the grand finale closing of this year's tafsir from the 20 chapters of the Abuja branch of the Igala-speaking Islamic organization. Abdullahi Ajia reports that issues of brotherhood and Islamic propagation were also put forward.
It's been a whole month of spiritual lessons and training for the Muslim world. occasioned by the Ramadan fast meant for the atonement of sins and the fear of Allah. Faithful learned and demonstrated the ideal Muslim conduct through acts of charity, devotion, and heightened worship, in which scholars from the closing of 2025 Council of Ihsan Muslim Community of Nigeria, Tafsir, are emphasizing to be upheld beyond the Ramadan period.
The message basically is about the establishing the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and establishing the spirit of brotherhood and unity among the Muslims.
We also told them that the God that owns the Ramadan, who gave instruction for activities we do during Ramadan, is also the same God that owns Shawwal up to Sha'ban. So we should not forget all the things we have learned.
This program by Abuja branch of SIMCON has become an annual platform for the propagation of Islamic religion, while also strengthening bond of brotherhood and fostering community relations.
You know, as Allah has told us, the Quran is a light and a guidance. So it's supposed to actually carry us on throughout our lives. Because Allah says in the Quran, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, that this is a book in which there is no doubt, and it's a guidance for those who are conscious of Allah.
Islam is a religion that is built on enlightenment and knowledge. So this program emphasizes the need for us to always worship Allah on the basis of clear insight and knowledge.
SIMCON, being an umbrella organization of Igala-speaking Muslims, also champions the welfare and knowledge quest of its members. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
It's now time to join our sports desk for Sports Brief.
The likes of Chelsea and PSG could compete for Osimhen's signature this summer, with the 26-year-old unlikely to remain in Turkey. The Red Devils have identified Osimhen as their dream target for the next transfer window. However, both United and Chelsea are wary of Paris Saint-Germain's interest and the French club's financial muscle. Osimhen has a clause of 75 million euros and is on a hefty salary and is not willing to take a pay cut. Still, the expectation is that he will finally get his big move, with the Nigerian dreaming of playing in the Premier League. While Barcelona continued their unbeaten run in 2025 with a 4-1 win over Girona, that keeps the Hansi Flick's men 3 points clear at the top of the table in Spain. The Catalans scored 4 times to take their tally to 139 goals in 45 games, hitting a start that no La Liga team has ever hit before. Meanwhile, Arsenal targets Victor Gyökeres in hunt for new strikers as Sporting CP star emerges as alternative to Newcastle's Alexandra Isak. Arsenal are interested in signing Victor Gyökeres from Sporting CP this summer as Mikel Arteta hunts for a new striker. Gyökeres has scored 85 goals in 92 games for Sporting and is emerging as the Gunners' top target. With Sports Brief.
And with Sports Brief, we conclude news at 1. There'll be more news this evening. Do join us then and have a good afternoon.